500 naira. Yes, now I have to show my character. Yeah, show it. Show it. So let's guess the next song. Don't use Shazam. Oduro. Because I was wondering, she cannot know God with us. It's not possible. And I saw God with us. I was impressed. Anyway, they can cheat, exam people. Okay, this one's very simple. No, that's not it. That's not it. So he's guessing. Who is guessing? Who sang that? But you know the song gospel. Give her the mic. Give her the mic. Give her the mic. Let her sing it. Sing it to the mic. Sing it to the mic. You know she might be signing you on as artist. Sing. You can hear.
Shout to the Lord, all the heads, let us sing.
That's one line.
That's 2 lines.
Now you won't give her money. Is it your money? Shout to the Lord, let us sing one line. Backup singer.
You know me.
2 lines.
As the seas we roll, at the sound of your name.
You should have passed 3 lines.
Okay, don't sing her. Who can sing the song? Who sing the song? So you go collect 1K. 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 They price my money. You go agree 1K. You go collect 1K. 3K last. I'm not going to listen to you because if I listen to you, you go want to employ you as manager. No, 1.5. Okay, let's make the transfer. But you should know who sang the song now. Shout to the Lord. Yes, it belongs now. Let us sing. Nobody know the song. Only ladies. It seems like when the trumpet sound, we are going to have a lot of ladies in heaven. I want to know if you make heaven. If you know this song, let's take it. Okay, let's go to this song. You see. He has mentioned the name. There, these guys. You know the song also. You have 1 leg in, 1 leg out. You're a mixed race. Holy moly. God will save us. This song, shout to the Lord. Okay, so you want to collect 3K? Okay. So we're going to be making the transfer. She got the cash, so 3,000 naira. I'm coming. Now give me your OPU. Sorry, I need to quickly. She has won the money, so I need to make the transfer. Okay, I should continue. No internet, no, you know, load. Oh, it's GT. The app has problem. It's GT that is problem. Fiki. Yes, you will get it. You will get it, but it's not loading.
All right. Good afternoon once again, everybody.
And thank you for coming. And thanks to our wonderful guest for coming, for making it a date with us. Thank you so much. Are you guys excited? Are you really sure? You know, there was a time Pastor announced they're coming in church. And everybody was like, oh, we're so cool. Yeah, they're coming. And he was like, are you guys really serious right now? You are having two of the most celebrated Nollywood actors, and you are keeping cool. Like program, I know you must have seen something like Mind Your Business, Mind Your Future, some words that came out of the heart. All right? So we are going to, just to set the expectations for us, all right? So we're going to be having some healthy discussions around relationship, around the future, around different challenges that we face in today's economy, and how we cope with those challenges and still try to grow up and still be, have something to look forward to in the future. And we're going to be looking at some movie industry expo, because they, when Uncle Sam was speaking, he mentioned some things about what they've done with Teen Cell, and they're still doing a lot more now. So just for me to introduce them briefly and usher them to where you're going to enjoy their beautiful faces and their wealth of knowledge more, let me quickly run through, as I call them, one by one. So first, I'm going to be introducing to us who should I go for? The man or the woman? Who do you want to hear about first? Ladies first. You want ladies first? All right, ladies first it is. So I have with me, we're calling to the podium now, our very own wonderful, beautiful Linda Ejiofor Suleiman. Let me put that. I call her my woman crush because she's so cool and so beautiful and always well composed every time. And she's an actress. She's a model role there. So she featured in more films like Sheep Daddy 1 and 2, if you've watched it. And she recently featured in a movie called To Love and to Protect, which is a movie that has been officially selected to screen at the London International Pan-African Film Festival in October 23rd, 2024. So be on the lookout for that. So ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Linda Ejiofor to this wonderful seat here. Yeah, you're welcome. And by the way, you guys don't know she's very, very playful. Let me not talk about that. Okay. And also joining her, since you want ladies first, the man will join. That man goes nowhere without her. I tell you. Okay, so he's Ibrahim Suleiman. He's an architect. He's an actor. He's at the new Ransom Kuti movie. And Sadiq in Up North. And recently in the Hotel Room, which has been chosen to screen at the African International Film Festival. So join me to welcome to the stage Ibrahim Suleiman. So I'll be joining them. With this, I believe you should have your questions ready. Get your curiosity out of the box. Every box you have planned to tick while you were coming to this event, please get them ready so that you can take the most advantage of this chat. It's not every time you get to see them and have a chat with them, So let me join them as well. Thank you. All right. I just finished my NYSC and I did some auditions and they'll be like, you didn't do it. Yeah, okay, so you have All right, so to start with, you guys, who saw who first between the two of you? Who noticed who first?
Was already working in Abuja, right? So I graduated, I was working in Abuja, I'd served. And so there was, on this, normally I'd go home on the weekend. I'd go back to Kaduna on the weekend to see my mom. So but this period I had a bit of time off. So I'd finished this project that we were constructing somewhere in Abuja. So I had a bit of time off. So I went to Kaduna to spend like a week or so with my mom. And it was the Champions League, it was during the season. You know, we couldn't do dual view and all of that. So I come to the living room to change channel and watch something. My mother was right there watching Tinsel. And she was like, you know, she's watching Tinsel, so I can't watch Champions League. I said, dear, because of this, I cannot watch Champions League. So I'm a bit upset. So I go back inside, change out of my pajamas. I wear, you know, outside clothes, grab my car keys. And I'm about to leave the house to go somewhere to go and watch the match because I must watch the match now. Like, what's. Then I'm walking past the TV.
Look at the TV one more time.
And I just turn and look at the TV and I just. You know, and there's this stunning young lady on screen. See, that's it. And I'm thinking to myself, what?
What?
So I take a look at this girl.
This goddess.
And I'm like, you know, so you know how you just see me? I was like, Mommy, I'm going to be here for the rest of the week. Bye. But you know, as I'm walking out, I'm still looking at the TV. And she's just there
the
talking.
Next show, you watch it with her, right?
No, I'm a hard guy.
Oh my God.
You know,
So
you
you're
understand?
part of us?
I have to maintain composure, steeze and
Wow.
composure. You understand? Like that. And in that time frame, I had a lot of friends who were in the film and TV industry. So I would hang out with them and they would be like, oh, come over to this person's house. Maybe it's this person's birthday or something like that. And I would go and I would bump into her.
Okay.
And every time I bumped into
You
this
just
girl,
bump into her.
they
Wow.
would introduce us. And I'll be like, oh. So the first time I was like, it's really good to meet you. My mom's a huge fan. She's like, oh. She was always very polite.
Yeah.
Very polite, very nice. The second time I met her, like a month later. So in my mind, I'm like, hey, I bumped into this fine girl again. And then my friend who invited me over to the place reintroduced us again because that person didn't know that we had met before. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you know, we've met. And then she's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm like, we've met though. But you know, she didn't. This girl never remembered me until like 2015.
I was focused.
She was
Yeah,
so.
very focused.
Listen, it's okay to be focused, yeah, baby. But anyway,
Really?
her or to even act like
So
what
your mind
met
are
before.
like,
So when she
who's
says
that
nice to
from?
meet you, I'm always like nice to
Nice
meet
to meet
you
you
too.
too.
And then in 2015 we go somewhere, or I go somewhere, and I'm getting so MTV they're doing something, so they're interviewing people. So I'm walking past, and one of my friends used to work for MTV Base at the time. So she's like, "Oh, Ibro, come now, let's do an interview of you." And I'm like, "No, I'm in a hurry." She's like, "Please, just wait. After this person, there's one more person than you." So I'm like, you know what? It's fine. So I just chilled, and then I found myself standing next to her because apparently they had stopped her as well. They wanted to interview her also.
Okay.
So she's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Hello." Do you understand?
Yeah.
You get it. You get it. I like this guy.
Very, very.
Yeah. So, you know, so I'm standing next to her, and then I'm like, "Oh, hello." She's like, "Hi." I'm like, "My name is Ibrahim." She's like, "Oh, nice to meet you, my man." I'm like, "Yeah, again,
Like
yeah,
the fifth
yeah."
time.
Like, okay. And then, you know, she's facing her front again. Me, if I could face my front.
My goodness.
And then the person that they were interviewing, they asked the person this really,
You
know.
try not to enter the
No,
car.
no.
Like,
I
at least you know
steeze and composure, you know. I don't even remember. I'm sorry. You know, I know if I could remember.
Information so that they can know how to get.
Nice one, dear. Nice one. You know what? I would try and remember. If I remember, I'll let you know. So that wherever you go, you just ask that sort of question next to the girl that you like.
It should be relevant to where you are. Don't go and ask a question that is not relevant to where you are, and the girl will be looking at you as if you're a stupid person.
Wow.
Don't worry. He'll ask it in a way. He'll ask it in a way that he's a sharp guy. I can tell.
Okay.
So basically,
What happened
she
after
laughed
the
at
interview?
that. I did my interview before hers, and I left. And at this time, I'd started getting interested
Wait, you
in.
mean you
I didn't take
wait?
a number.
You
No,
didn't wait
no.
to
Do you
take a
know-
number.
Me. Do you understand? Like, like
Can you believe this guy?
this is for the gentlemen in the house. I took one for the boys. Yes, yes. Thank you, brother. So anyway, I leave, and just before that, like a couple of weeks before that, a friend of mine and I, we had started this thing where we're now, we're producing stage productions, and so we're in the middle of one that I had written, and I was, lead choreographer and production designer for. But because I was going back and forth from Abuja and Lagos, I wasn't really on ground. So the casting for the stage production was handled by my partner, Bimbo. So he had casted the people that we're going to have perform in the stage play, right? So I go from MTV, I go straight to the studio where we work from. So I'm in the studio office doing some documentation. And then the door to the studio office opens. I turn around and I see her. And both of us at the same time, we look at each other and said, "You." So in my mind, I'm like, so she remembers me this time. So the point of this story, right? The moral of this story is, if you need the girl to remember you, one, don't be graduated to these things. Chill. Wow. Okay, don't harass the babe. Second thing, make her laugh. If you make her laugh, she will remember you because that's good vibes. You understand? And at this time, let me tell you, I didn't have money like that too. So it's not money that is used to arrange these things.
You have steez.
You understand? Have sense, have steez. You'll be alright. And then just give her respect. Just give her space. Don't be too aggressive. Anywho, she didn't forget me, and obviously this was 2015, and this is 2024.
Wait a minute. 2015.
Yeah, that's when we
You guys
became
got
friends.
married when?
2018.
2018. Okay.
So we didn't start dating until like almost 2 years later. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And by then it was too late. She couldn't do without me.
A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you. I worked hard.
For that wonderful story. You know what? Have you heard this before, that when you are interested in something, let's say you want to buy a car, you start seeing that same brand of car almost everywhere, and your mind will be on it. So that's when he was telling the story. That was what came to my mind. I was like, okay, so you're seeing that brand everywhere. Every corner you thought you just see it, you're like, that brand is staying in my mind too. That's great. Do you want to tell us your own part of the story? How come you didn't notice him? First time, hi, nice to meet you. Second time, nice to meet you. Kilo day.
Like I said, I was focused. I was facing money. I'm an Igbo girl. I was focused. I was just facing money and career. So I wasn't looking. And anyway, I was in a relationship then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't looking at anybody. Just facing my front. Then
he became your front.
Yes, then he became my front. By 2014, I wasn't seeing anyone again. Then when I saw him 2015, yes,
Wow.
I was single. So then I now made me laugh and I noticed him. And that's
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect timing.
Perfect
timing. You could have been struggling like all those time trying to make her notice, and like you are even becoming a nuisance. I don't want to see you again. All right, so that's really good. And another thing that came to my mind, I just remember a Bible passage. I don't want to be too churchy, but in Proverbs it said, "See a man skilled in their work, they will stand before kings and not before mean men. They will stand with the top officials." So it just reminded me that both of you are just so skillful and so mindful of your skill, and then you keep bumping into each other. You keep standing in front of the people that matters all together. That's wonderful. Please, a round of applause for them, for minding their skills, for being so focused and for being so careful, maintaining stays and composure, That's nice. So if you guys have any question, please, there'll be a mic that will go around. You can ask your question, or you can also send it to any of the numbers on the advert, or write it in a paper, any way that is convenient for you. But if you're bold enough to stand up and just ask, just signify, and then we'll pass the mic to you so that you can ask your question.
Please feel free to stand up and ask. In fact, I wish we didn't have to have
Be
sort of
this far.
distance.
No,
Yeah.
this place. See this place that you see.
Something
It's the
great happened.
dancing floor.
Okay.
Don't worry.
My bad.
This place is useful. All right. So I have another question. While you were busy minding your business and you were busy pursuing your career, at any point in time did you thought you're gonna be this place today? Was there a point in time that I can see into 5-10 years into the future and I know where I'm gonna be? Was there a point like that for you?
For me, I knew what I wanted in life. I knew when I started, I didn't start on the monthly salary or whatever that my other cast members were getting on Tinsel. And I remember that I kept complaining to my dad and my mom and saying that, why am I not getting more as I'm getting paid as much as my fellow cast members, and why was I not getting seen on TV?
I was seeing you though.
Not by you, baby.
Okay.
Okay. So by other directors and producers. And I remember my dad telling me that I should just focus on my work, do it as much as I can, do it as good as I think I have done, put my all in it, and someone will notice me. And a year, 2 years into that, Mildred Okwo, the director of the meeting, saw me with Rita Dominic, saw me and called me and said, okay, you know what, we need you on this project. And that's it. And that's where I skyrocketed from there. And people started seeing me every other places and asking me to be on their project. So I knew I wanted something bigger, but I didn't think this is where God would take me at the end. But my dad was always telling me that, don't worry, you'll be big, you get to places, just focus, remember family values, remember where you're coming from. Yes, they say no publicity is bad publicity, but I believe that bad publicity will always ring you in front. It will meet you in front. So I always try to make sure that all the publicity I got was always good publicity. So yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. A round of applause, please. I mean, like, very focused, still, minding what is in front of her. Thinking people did not see her, but he was seeing it. He was seeing her all the while. That's nice. And what about you?
So to be honest, how do I put this now without planned on being an actor.
Okay.
It was never part of my plan. I actually wanted to go into film and television, but I wanted to do that as a writer and a director.
Okay.
I never wanted to be on screen. But some people that are very important to me insisted that they felt like the best way to get behind the camera, the fastest route for me would be getting in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And it turns out that herself and the other people who said that to me were right.
Okay.
Because getting into the film and television space is funny. You could just decide one day that you want to go into, film and television. You want to be part of a production, and you just walk across to wherever anybody's filming something, talk to an AD or a PM, and tell them, "Oh, I'm interested in film and television." They'll be like, "Okay, you know what? Here, hold this. Follow me around." And then after that project, you go to another one, another one, another one. Before you know it, you've risen through the ranks. You've become a producer.
Yeah. Wow.
Or you could actually purposely just do everything that you're supposed to do. Go for workshops, do this, do that, apply here, apply there, and still not make it into anything.
I wish I had heard this before when I was trying.
Yeah.
I wish I heard, because
You
the
tried.
funniest part is, those days, you're very lucky to have your dad supporting you, encouraging you to keep going. How many parents are doing that for their kids those days?
Well, to be
Not
fair.
so many.
Well, to be fair and to be honest, my dad wasn't supporting me at first.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't. I actually came to UI to do diploma in theater art.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to do it for 6 months. I was here in my first month, just the first month. My dad came back from wherever he traveled to, came to school, and because my brother was in UI, came to school and told me, no, none of my kids are going to be actors, not while he's alive.
Oh my.
So I
And
went
he's still
home.
alive?
He's very much alive. He's my biggest
A round
fan,
of applause
actually.
for him.
Very much alive.
Does now.
So
Wow, thank you, Daddy.
yes. So he told me I wasn't going to do. I think that's where God comes in, because what God proposes, what man proposes, God disposes, right? That's how it is. And God has plans for you.
Yeah.
You don't see the plans that God has for you in the future. So my dad has his own plans, but God has his own plans. So while my dad was saying it was never going to happen, God was sitting down there and watching my dad was like, another 3 years, 4 years from now,
You're
it's
gonna sing
definitely
another
going to
song.
happen. And
Yeah.
that's what happened. 4 years after I went, 5 years. I went to Uniport, studied sociology, extra 1 year because of ASU. Thank you, ASU. And came out of school, started modeling.
Okay.
It was while I was modeling that I got the audition. Somebody told me about the audition for African Magic Tinsel.
Okay.
And when the person told me it was an acting gig, I thought it was going to be a modeling gig. So I was super excited I was going to go for it. And then she told me it was an acting gig. And I told her, I remember the words of my father. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. And she tried to talk to me about it. She told me, oh, they're going to pay in dollars. Like I said earlier, I'm an Igbo girl. So I quickly jumped on the dollar talk, but it wasn't dollars. It was Naira.
Oh my.
So I went for the audition, and the audition took like a year. That was when DSTV just came into Nigeria. So a whole year they were auditioning. I remember going for that audition 3 times. It was while I was serving in Jigawa State that they called me and said, oh, you got the part.
Wow.
So come down. So yeah, I took night bus,
Wow.
came down. When I started making money, that's when I started flying.
Wow.
Then my father didn't know, so I'm sure my mom knew, although my mom knew. So mothers, shout out to mothers that are always standing there. Yes,
Hey, mothers.
my mom knew because I wanted someone older to know, so that at least when I'm on the road or something, they know where I'm going to or what I'm doing, and at least she knows where I'm getting money from, so that she won't think I'm doing it I'm doing funny things to get money. So at least she knows where I'm getting money from, not just modeling but also acting on Tinsel. So I was on Tinsel for 1 year. My dad didn't know.
Wow.
Yes.
That means he doesn't even watch.
No, he was busy trying to make money too. See,
Oh
my family,
my.
we are focused. Money.
Oh yeah.
So he was busy trying to make money. So he wasn't watching TV. And eventually when he now came around and said, okay, you know what? We didn't have DSTV then, because DSTV was not affordable to everybody. So when it became affordable to, my dad now said, okay, you know what? I'm back home. I'm going to get DSTV. That's when I knew I had to tell my dad. And my mom was like, you have to tell your father. My siblings knew, so they were like, you have to tell daddy.
Wow.
So one day I called my dad and I said, Daddy, I want to tell you something. So I had a conversation with him and I told him that, oh, so there's something I've been doing for 1 year that he didn't know about it. But I just want him to know that I made him proud. I've made him proud. No negative publicity whatsoever. So he should please let me do this. And then I told him, and I remember my dad being quiet for a while. He thought about it. Then he said, okay.
Wow.
For the fact that there was nothing negative about you for 1 year and you've done it. And he used to be, parents have this notion that actors and actresses are very loose, promiscuous and loose. Yes. So I told my dad I was going to make him proud and I was going to remember the family I come from. So that's what has kept me till now, being this way. I always remember and put that at the back of my head, the family that I come from, the promise I made to my father.
Wow.
And yeah, so he's
Thank
my
you.
biggest fan now.
A round of applause for her, please, for keeping those values from the house, those home training. That's very key. Why my dad and my own parents were not supportive, it's just the same thing. Everybody have the notion that once you are in the media, you just kind of get wayward, or you do whatever it takes. Some people dictate the tone, and so you have to dance to their tone every time.
Yeah.
So they are scared for the young ones. And I think
that's why I feel like I'm speaking for myself, would show other parents and let other parents let their kids be actors or actresses if they want to, because use me as an example. Tell your parents, oh, Linda Ejiofor can do this. Linda Ejiofor does not have any, she's not wayward and all that. Then why can't I? So I decided to use myself as a model for that.
I will send myself back like 10 years back.
And
I'll say, Mommy, Daddy, Linda Ejiofor is beautiful. She's not wayward. She's an actor. I'm going to be an actor. I wish. Have the opportunity, And so this crowd that we have here today, they are a mixture of students from the close by University of Agric. We have people also from secondary school. We have people from orphanages. We have different kind of guests in our midst here. And so I believe what she's saying, what Linda Ejiofor has shared with us today, should help us to be able to make up our mind to pursue our passion, to be focused about it, to also be diligent about it, because I see you were so diligent. You started with modeling, you started with the step. So I don't know what step you are right now or where you are. You may think it's not relevant, but trust me, you've just not discovered the gem in that. It's relevant, because from modeling, somebody contacted her to come and audition for an acting gig. So it goes on and on like that. And they still come down to that Bible passage in Proverbs that says, see a man diligent at his work will stand before kings and not before mean men. And I'm so happy for the people that nurtured you and the industry. I mean, you fell into good hands. Let me put it that way. You fell into good hands. I know some people didn't have a kind of nice story like this to share today. So I'm so happy for whoever it is. If you're watching, thank you so much for giving that leverage, that opportunity. And that also brought in my brother here. My brother here. So tell me about yours. You're coming into the industry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally just have this mindset that I just believe that God has given each and every one of us I don't know how to put this, but you're not capable of just one thing. You're not born with just one talent. And additionally, even for people who feel like they weren't born with any talent whatsoever, that's why you have the spirit of excellence. You are capable of learning and perfecting and becoming excellent in almost anything that you pay attention to and dedicate your time. So I basically just had people around me who were very creative and very talented. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that everybody seated here today, there's at least one person that you interact with almost every day that is super talented at something or the other. You don't have to be able to do exactly what that person is doing, but you can do something that is related to what that person is doing simply because you understand the basics of what that person does. Let me try and simplify that. If someone is a movie director and the person is like your neighbor or a relative or something, the person is a movie director, right? So that means that they have access to footage, raw footage from set. You understand? Scenes that have been filmed, they have scripts that are around them all the time because they're constantly reading so that they can pick what their next project would be. They have equipment that they use to maybe edit or whatever. The person has like a 360 view of what making a film entails. You don't have to be a film producer or a film director because that person is a film director. You could end up as an editor. You could end up as a writer. You could end up as a script writer. You could end up as a costume designer. You could end up as anything at all that is involved in the filmmaking process. You could end up as an accountant.
Wow.
Or you could end up making a movie score, like music for film.
Okay.
You could do anything. But to get there, just spend good time watching that person work, observing the people that come and work with the person.
Okay.
When you surround yourself with the right people, you'll be amazed at what you pick up. Because the human mind is spongy by nature. We soak up things. Which is why, we are taught to be careful what we consume. So the music you listen to, right?
And he's a photographer.
He's like he takes super pictures. Like
Wow.
there's a picture that we posted a few days ago. It was my 4-year-old son that took it.
I saw it. I was amazed. I saw it. It was good. Great angle. And
Exactly,
you look
because
so good in the
he
picture, by the
he
way.
learned how to do these things by watching us take pictures of each other at home. So going back to the initial question, I didn't particularly plan on being an actor. But one of the things I wanted to do was to write for screen or direct. But I'm an architect, I'm an artist, there are many things that I do voiceovers, like opportunities to express these things. During the lockdown in 2020, for like 4 months. We couldn't, so she was pregnant, she was carrying our baby, and we're home for 4 months straight. After lockdown, I was able to get back to work, but she had just had our baby. So she couldn't work for a few months after that. But you see that period of time where for 4 months everybody was indoors, I probably had more income in those 4 months than I had had in the last 2 years put together, simply because then people were consuming more, artwork. Yeah. So I started painting digitally, and I would send my paintings to someone who prints high definition prints on anything. So they would print on canvas or whatever, and I'll ship to different parts of the world. Wow. I was just using the iPad that she bought me for my birthday, like the year before. So, and that was just it. That's what I spent 4 months doing, and I still do that like every other couple of nights when I have like a couple of hours free. I just work on a painting that I'm working on, and then I get them framed and shipped out and all of that. So, and I picked that up, like I actually actively started doing that like a lot 4 years ago. Like if anyone had told me 10 years ago that I'll be doing all the things that I'm doing today, I really couldn't have seen it coming. But that's why it is important to stay in God's plan for your life. It is extreme.
That's
extremely
really
important.
beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. I mean, like, they've both been able to share with us how they set out to just be useful, to just apply their skills, not minding where they started from, and then it's led to this wonderful position, this wonderful place. Please, let's celebrate God in their life again. So, he said something, Ibrahim, when he was speaking, said something that when you see someone around you,
for an inspiring way to connect with other young peeps,
Attend Poolside tracks.
where can you learn life lessons from two amazing celebrities?
right? And that, got me thinking like, oh, that's true. Nigeria, is it our population thing or something else? When you see somebody thriving at something, that's when everybody wants to rush in to do the exact thing. So why there are opportunities waiting for you by just doing complementary product or services to support what that person is doing? That way, that's actually my mindset. And thank you for just reiterating that again. Thank you so much. Because I believe if we all have the mindset of not being unhealthy, not building unhealthy competition, but trying to see how we can all work together, synergize, you can do something greater than what you plan to do initially. And that's what it just painted for us this afternoon. And second to that, I remember I had some friends growing up who are also talented. I have a musician. I was in the choir by myself. I sing, Yeah, I do. Yeah, I was in the choir from secondary school till I started working. And I have some musicians as friends. And somebody said to me one day, he said, oh, I cannot continue being friend with, I have a dream. And I was like, what's that? What built in the hair, but you don't know where the foundation will start from. And I was like, oh, okay, that's true. He said, you know what? If you are their friends, they put all the burdens on you, and then you have to feed them, and then you have to take care of their transport, and then you have to support them to the studio. And I started reasoning, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So let me go and get a real job. So let me go get the real job, because this person will be thinking, I have an idea. Yes, and we have a friend around us like that was like that at that time. And I saw where it's led, and it wasn't really good. So I want to ask you, let's say, and I'm saying this for the sake of anybody here who also have an idea. It's not bad to have an idea, please. It's not bad to have a dream. But it's good, and it will be better to know how to build that dream and bring it to reality without being a burden to people around you, and without disappointing yourself and letting yourself down as well. So my question is this: when you started and you were serving, right? You just finished university, you were serving. Let's say it wasn't bringing in money as you had the opportunity to have then. Yeah. What are you going to do different? And I believe you also have people around you, probably you were modeling together, and they didn't end up where you ended up. So, what did you learn from their scenarios, and what would be your advice to other people who also have big dreams, aspirations, and need to just know how to step into it gradually?
So, when I started, I actually was not making enough.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't.
I thought your fine face,
Ah,
noise
no,
king.
no. No, I wasn't. I wasn't making enough. And what I did was I knew where I was heading to. I knew what I wanted. So I just kept doing the job, like my father said, do it diligently, do it with all.
Disturbed, financial crisis.
Of course, I had that. And it comes at every point in your life. That's why it's important to have good people around you. People who will encourage you, who would tell you to keep your head up, and who will tell you that it's never stagnant. You can never stay there for too long. You have to keep trying and keep going and keep doing what you're doing. So because I had family around me who were supportive, and also friends who have gone through it and tell me, oh,
it's not a bad role, to be an encourager to someone, really. So if you have the chance to encourage somebody today, they might end up being like her. They will remember you. So try and encourage someone, okay? So Ibrahim, you want to say something to that? And guys, we're going to switch on to question and answer later. So
And I feel like that's necessary, because a lot of people end up doing stuff that will frustrate you. Children of God, like you, will frustrate you. You understand? So you will not always be in love with your work. But if you have a vision for where you want to be, even if, as we said earlier, you don't know how you're going to get there, but you know frustrating me, talk to your child, because me, I can't. I'm not going to lie, I do that sometimes, because human beings would really remember that. But that one person that said what you said was absolute trash, you will remember that.
Yeah.
Because by nature, our minds focus, it's easier for our minds to focus on the negative. But that's where, you have to now train yourself to remember that there's just one voice or one opinion in a sea of many others. You understand? So please try and remember to focus on what is important, and remember that it is a day-to-day growth situation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please a round of applause for them both. Yeah, I'm going to leave you, before we go on to the question from the audience, I'm going to leave, just close this session now with this passage from Daniel 6:3. It says, "Now Daniel so distinguished himself among the administrators and the satraps by his exceptional qualities, that the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom." I mean, like everything you just said, this sum it up, Somebody who distinguish himself, who goes for it and kill it and do what is needed, that person has bigger things coming their way. Thank you so much. So question from the audience, please.
Let's have it.
They're so eager to answer you. Come on.
Let's not be shy. This is the best part too.
Okay, I have one already sent to me, actually. Okay. If they're shy, if you're shy, you can send it. Okay, someone, you're raising your hand at the back.
Is a line of like personality. For instance, you're should I say an entrepreneur, and your personality in a way doesn't match what you're doing. For instance, let me use myself. I am a barber, and I often ask myself the question like, the kind of person that I am, or that I think I am, and the way people see barbers and the way barbers are, and so on and so forth. And then I feel like it's a different personality. I feel like it is. So I struggle with that in terms of like my personality, and if you guys can like shed some light into that, maybe how I can be comfortable. And so, because I feel like there's so much more that I can do as a barber, there's the heights of this career is like massive. So okay.
Please put your hands together for him. Sorry, sir. No, please, before you drop the mic, please, what's your name?
Obalolua.
Obalolua. How long have you been a barber?
6 years.
did you become a barber? Is this something you wanted to do, or it was something that you felt like you had to do?
So I had to make the decision like in the like. So my dad's friend owned a salon.
Okay.
I was waiting for Jump.
Right.
And then Jump jumped me. And Jump jumped me again. So it was like, okay, my friend has a salon. Go and just spend some time there. And then in 4 months, I knew how to barb. I became a professional. I was doing my thing. And then they were like, okay, we need, there's an empty space.
Right.
We'll recruit you. So they recruited me. I started making money. It felt nice. And then Jump came. I got my admission. I was like, let me, the money was good, that sense of independence. I didn't have to wait for my parents and so on. So, I had to decide. I think I made that decision to actually do that because of the money.
Yeah.
But at this point that I am now, I'm thinking of how much more can I do in this career, and yeah.
Okay, can I ask one more question? I know that it's supposed to be you asking me questions, but I'm asking these questions so that it's easier to offer advice that is relevant to you. Because I don't want to just give a very generic, follow your dreams and that's not why we're here. So, what would you describe your personality as? Because just by this interaction, I can tell that you are self-aware, and you're self-critical, self-aware, and you're also very confident in
school. I'm studying communication and language arts, so I want to be a talk show host.
Fantastic.
So, but like the idea is, barbing is making me money, and I think, for instance, in Ibadan, the market in Ibadan is golden. So I feel like there's so much more that I can do, minus my career, like minus what I want to be in the future, So the kind of person that I think I am is maybe more or less like a office person, suits and all that.
I get you.
T-shirts, I don't feel comfortable in like ripped jeans,
Right.
I don't. There are things about myself, like there are some things I got to adapt to, like being around people like that, being around barbers, PSTs, smoking, drinking, like the lifestyle generally. And then I saw that every day. I think I was like 16 when I started learning, and I saw it every day. Imagine seeing something like that every day. There's a way it shapes your mind.
True.
And I felt like, okay, if I want to be like, if I want to do this, I have to if you want to catch a monkey, you have to do like a monkey.
Yeah.
So, because I'll be at work and someone will come, they'll be like, can this guy barb? Because I looked like one bossy JJC boy that, with my snare, all stars and all that. So, so I felt like to an extent I needed to like blend. But my
So, honestly, I feel like you stumbled upon your brand without realizing that that's what you've done. You understand? As a barber, you're not normal. Forgive me for using the word, because I actually get upset when people use that word, because what is normal? But anyway, moving on. Your brand as a barber is an unusual brand. You understand? You're not doing your lifestyle. You're not part of the lifestyle, in the sense of the habits that a lot of them that you worked with, have. Then there's also the fact that you don't see yourself, even in terms of your personal styling. You don't see yourself like them. That's not a bad thing at all. Do you understand? I know barbers who are corporate barbers today, right? And simply because their brand and these guys, it was a superficial decision, not a personality decision. You understand? It's actually who you are. So that makes it even more authentic. I don't think that as a barber, you're going to struggle to stand out. So I think that's what you should, for the period of time that you intend to continue, being a barber until the other dreams and desires kick in. Baba, just focus on making sure this is a very surface level conversation. So I just met you, basically. So I don't know you. But but this is the you that most people who are going to work with you, interact with you, will meet. You understand? So this is a good brand. I don't think you should worry about changing it. I think instead you should just focus on enhancing it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions from the audience? Ladies, please represent now. Abba. Ladies. Yeah, ladies. My ladies. You have to come forward, step out. I love that. Okay, I give you my mic.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here today, and thank you for this amazing program. My name is Ayola Blessing. Okay, so I'm a student, and at the same time, there's more to life than just being a student. It always ends, though we are a student of life till the end of time, but then, I mean, being in school and all that. Okay, so my question is, I know it's at times, there are times when not everyone is lucky with getting support. It's very, very easy to get more of the advice than the, okay, I'll take you through this journey, this is how it is going to be and all that. So there are days when I learned fashion designing. Aside that, hat, turbans and all that. It's just because I feel I want to become somebody, and even though, okay, life changed in between. While I was in secondary school, I wanted to become a medical doctor. Now, when I was done with secondary school and I tried writing JAMB, well, JAMB didn't really jump me in particular, but it wasn't up to the cut-off mark. So it got into school, but not the course I wanted. Now, another issue was in the sense of finances. Then we all know how universities are like. If you don't have connection, if you're not ready to pay this, if you're not ready to pay that. And I applied for another. At first, I picked UI for the medicine. Then eventually, I had to switch to 4-year. Then the list was not coming out. They were like, go and bring so amount. And I told my mom we'll try next day. So at the end of the day, I finished 2018, and I started teaching through till 2019. And I was like, okay, I cannot stay home. Since we tried UI, we tried 4-year, now let's just. So my friend told me about my school now, the Federal College of Animal Health and Production Technology. And it was like, okay, just go. You can do your ND, and when you're done, you can do the DE and push it from there. So plans started changing, and everything, and it keeps happening that way. As you keep going, it keeps changing. And to be very honest, it is not easy. At times, most times I wake up feeling like I am not doing enough, feeling like it's still, probably I'm still in the same position, all those kind of feelings. So my question is just, what advice would you give? Because I won't lie, most times I feel like I'm not doing it again. Because I'm just like, okay, fine, if there's no easy route though, but as a lady, I won't want to go into that. As a lady, you would have people who would come across temptations. You would on a daily basis, and you just feel, seeing some people, I think they are doing fine this time. Maybe you just divert and go and join them, because it's not really easy to become somebody. Is not really easy. You have to fight through it. So I'm like, if you're fighting through it, because I'm fighting through it, and at the same time, at times when I just wake up, I'm like, this thing is not going. It's still the same thing. Even though, yes, I'm grateful for life, because if there's no life, every other thing makes no sense. So it's just, what advice would you give? I don't really say motivation, but at least at some point it started making sense to you guys, two of you. At some point, started making sense. So what advice would you give to me? Thank you.
So, first of all, I want to commend you for being bold enough to come out here, take that microphone, and basically just tell a bunch of strangers about the struggles that you've had to deal with. Please put your hands together for this young lady. It's very commendable, because it's being vulnerable even to people that are closest to you is tough. But being vulnerable in front of people who you've probably never met before now is very commendable. So well done for that. So I was raised by women, basically. My mother was the only parent that, stuck around, basically, to take care of myself and my siblings. And, so I had aunties, cousins who were female. So I've always been I think I have a better understanding of, and I know this might sound a bit weird, but I feel like I have a better understanding of the way of the struggles women go through than most men, simply because I was surrounded by women growing up. So I know. Now, when you mention temptations and all of that, look, nobody who is paying any attention to the society today will sit here and say that they don't understand what you're saying. It's tough. And very few people will judge you if you actually take, these opportunities, so to speak, that have been offered to you. You understand? But it takes grit. It takes determination. It takes knowing what the value that you possess to not, succumb, exactly, to not fall into those temptations, yeah? But in terms of advice, I'll tell you this. You see these speed bumps that I tend to call them, that feel like they slow you down. Some of them are so bad that they can cause actual damage to the vehicle of your life. But the great thing about it is that there's no matter how many speed bumps you are, there's still road. You understand? There's still movement. There's still, progress. Count every single struggle that you have as, think about it like this. For every single thing that you experience, have a life CV, basically. You understand? This is what I do. Every time I've struggled with something, right, in my mind, I write it down as part of my CV as a human being, as someone who has lived. I just put it down there. Okay, I survived losing all the money that I've gathered for the last 5 years on a project that I thought made sense but went bad. I've actually started my life from, she knows this, I've started my life from scratch 3 times. 3 different times. And I'm not talking as a student, I'm talking about as someone who graduated and had a job. I've started my life, I've restarted my life. And exactly, I don't know if I should say it like this, but I made my first million when I was still in school. I made my first million at 19. I made my first my first 10 million plus when I was 23, right? And I've made chunks of money, and then lived a consistent life financially for a while. But at different times of my life, I have lost everything and rebuilt again. But I'll tell you this, every time I've had to start from scratch, because of the experiences that I've had, I've started better. Do you understand? My prayer for you that it is not your as an adult. It is a tough place to be. But it's one of you understand? I know it sounds cliche. Oh, it's so that you can have a better story. Blah, 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 blah. But it's not just that. It's so that you are a better refined, exactly. is building you a better refined human being than most of the people who have had a smooth sail, in life. I was raised by my mom. She worked 2 jobs. Sometimes at some point she was working 3 jobs just so that she could take care of her 3 children by herself. Do you understand? She's of blessed memory. She's no longer with us. But every time I achieve something, sometimes I look at my son, right? And I'm grateful for my mother who didn't live long enough to meet him in person. Do you understand? But I know that because of the things that that woman endured, the things that she built in my mind and minds of my brother and my sister, her legacy is forever sorted. You understand? I will do everything I can to teach my son the things that his grandmother taught me. So these things that you're going through right now, they're just the refining moments. Just, these are exactly.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Let me continue. These things that you're going through right now, they're just roadblocks to where you're heading to. Just stay focused. And are you still doing the Toban and my darling? The internet is your selling point. Put your things out there. You don't know who is going to buy. You don't know who. Maybe they might buy 1 today, buy 2 tomorrow. You don't know who is going to say, you know what, we need a truckload of top and order. That's where your blow will start. You will blow from somewhere. Make I just talk like that. Yeah. So just hang in there. All right.
And in terms of support, because you mentioned that there's advice and then there's support, and I completely agree with you. Advice is easy, support is not. Do you understand? So my prayer for you is that the things that you desire the most, not only will you get good advice on that journey, that God will give you the people that will support you properly without asking for things that you cannot give in return.
So much.
Well done.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. All right. Sorry, what's the name again? Blessing. First, let me tell you this. And you have a very good. And don't ever let anyone or anything you go through dictate who you are. Find your true self from within yourself and maintain it. You've heard wonderful advice. I mean, the advices they've given to you, talking from their own experience. I mean, they've been through moments like this before. Let me tell you something about myself. I've been through something. Because other generation coming, you will not know how far your impact will go. But trust me, girl, if you go through this and you come out at the other hand, shiny, you've just paved another way, another galaxy for others to do the same. All right? So that is what they are doing today. And that is what I am also doing. And you have been set. It's a privilege, It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint-hearted to go through all this and come out shining. So consider yourself lucky to be one of the ones that will be built tough and strong to last, to make something beautiful out of it. And if we're going to go spiritual, some people will say, oh, maybe programmer who can work out something. I am the coordinator for the Teens Church here, and we have some of our teenagers who are into businesses, into different things. We always encourage them to be able to make something bigger and better for themselves. So there could be 1 or 2 things we can work together with you. So let's see after the program. Thank you. All right, so any other question? And thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Have you thought about having counselor? I know you're going to say, don't start with me. Like, to what you do.
Actually.
It's so good.
Yeah, in Kaduna, when you were in school, right? He was a guidance counselor in school, in church. Yeah, that's why he's so good at it.
Wow.
That's why anytime you ask difficult questions, I pass the microphone to him. Because he knows how to answer very well. Then I just thief some lines from him and I'll add my own.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Adela Jaido.
Please come closer. Please come closer. You saw Blessing now, how she did it. You saw how Blessing did it. You can do it. You don't look at them. Look at us. See this fine
Good
face. Yeah, smile.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Adela Jaido. My question is, what about those that don't have parents, that don't have nobody to even advise them, not to support them?
They do not have people they are looking up to. Even people who have single parents, God, they are. My mom was there, but even me too, I struggle. How much more somebody who have nobody? You understand? So, what do you have for them, please? Oh my God.
I able to attempt all of these different things is because I had my mother, right, who was very strict because she was divorced, right. My parents split up when I was about 6. You understand? And I'm the oldest, so I have a younger sister and then a brother, and my mother had to do all of that on her own, right? Because she was never going to give us up to sit, please. She was never going to give us up to my father's family. So she was like, no, I'm keeping my children, blah, blah. So automatically that made her really strict. Like, it will not be under my watch that you will now go astray. Then do not say, because I didn't let, my in-laws have you, that's why, and I couldn't handle raising you guys by myself. That's why you have gone wayward. So, man, she was constantly in my ear about, doing the right thing, making the right decisions, making sure that I'm a good role model for my siblings, blah, 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 blah. I still hear her voice sometimes, even at my old age.
Very happy.
Okay, carrying on. And so when I meet people like you who don't have that, my heart really, it goes out to you. Now, yes, my mother was very strict, but she was also supportive of my dreams and my talents and everything. But she insisted on two things. First, that I get all the education that I need to fall back on in case any of the different things that I was excited about or talented in didn't work out. So as soon as I graduated, this is real talk, as soon as I graduated, right? And because I studied architecture, so you have to do your BSc and your master's in my school. I studied at ABU Zaria. You can't do one and then not do the other. So as soon as I finished my MSc, I let her know that, dear, behold, what you paid for. Now, but I asked her for something. I said, give me 3 years to go and do the things that I want to do. If I do not make you proud in 3 years, then I'll do whatever it is you want me to do. And she was like, okay, that sounds like a fair deal. Go ahead. Not a lot of people have that. Clearly, you don't have that. But here's what I will tell you. You might not get that from your parents, either because they are no longer with us on earth. Is that the case? See, that's. But in a sense, and the economy it is well, right? But I honestly think, just from the interaction that I saw between yourself and the person that was trying to look for your trouble there, I can, with the beanie. You don't look behind, Oga. Yes, you young man. Yes, it's not you. Is he not the one that was looking for your trouble?
They just caught you red-handed.
Caught you. So just from that interaction, I can tell that you're strong-willed, and you can stand your ground. You understand? People will try and bully. You gave me she gave me one side eye that I knew that, okay, that came from a place of she knows what she's capable of. So because of how
do you need water?
And I'll be fine. Thank you for offering. I appreciate this. But it's one of the reasons why I love her. You understand? So for me, right, being a young person who is assertive, knows what they want, and is aware of the challenges that are standing in the way of getting what they want, is already, for me, is when you can identify all these things, the solution is usually not far off. Being unaware of the things that you're capable of and the things that will be a problem to you getting to where you're supposed to be, that is a problem. So permit me to only focus on the positive. I just want to tell you that I feel like you have the ingredients, right? You already have the basics of your journey. Just hang in there. Hang in there. And if you ever need encouragement, talk to my sister. She's here. Okay?
Thank you.
Wow.
Let me add. Like I said, I told you I will steal something from him and add. Then I'll talk. So, what do you want in life? What do you want for yourself?
I want to be great in life. Like it's not easy. I know it's not. Like I learned like 3 work now. I learned how to cook. I can make hair, and also I know about art. But those things are just like okay, me doing it. Like if I tried a lot. Okay, for my sisters. That's what.
See, I love the part where you said that you're trying everything to make your parents proud, even if they are not here with you. That tells, and he also asked you if he also mentioned that you should, the person you're supposed to prove anything to is yourself. So I love that already. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to use my nanny, my son's nanny. So she's practically the breadwinner of her family. Her father just passed away, and she's the one taking care of her mother and her siblings. And this girl, they took her and put her into being a nanny from 5 years old. She started that when she was 5 years old. She didn't tell me. She told my husband. And eventually when my husband will come, and he came and he told me, my heart broke for her. But this girl is very resourceful. And one day I sat her down, and I think we got her what did we get? The first gift that she has ever gotten, the first cake on her birthday. She cried. She came to us, knelt down and was crying. We're like, no, stand up. What's the... So she told us that nobody has ever done anything for her like this. Nobody has ever, that she has always been pushing herself. She has done nanny job from when she was 5. She has cooked, and she wants to prove to people that she can do it. She can make it. And she's not doing it for any other person, but for herself. The girl right now does thrift. Like she would go to the market, buy clothes, come put it. She had to, the salary we were paying her, she had to, and school, I had to pay for her for school. She went to school. She had to learn how to post things online and pay for ads for it. She did that, and she has started making money for herself. Push yourself. Remember your parents. Make them proud. And trust me, if your sisters see how you're doing, they will want to aspire to be you. And people around you, not just your sister. Are you the oldest? Even the oldest self will look at you and say, you know what, because Idowu is doing this, I want to be like this. Okay? You can. Be strong.
Thank you.
A round of applause, please. Okay, so when you started going on and on about the things she can do, I wanted to steal a moment from you guys, but I don't want to make it about me. Because guys, ladies, Idowu, and everybody will have similar story. Please, we got to talk. Sincerely speaking, we got to talk. Yeah, we got to talk. You know what? I said my mom raised me, right? But it wasn't easy either. And I understand for someone not having their parent, either your parent died or probably they're separated. Sometimes the kids just fall off. In between, I have custody, you have custody, I have needs, you have needs. The kids just fall off. But trust me, you can become anything and everything. And I like the example of your nanny, your son's nanny you just mentioned. Someone who just, go about doing what she can do to make money, and then all the opportunities opened up for her. The same thing, you guys, opportunities can open up for you. Just learn to start from somewhere. Learn to do something first. Life, it's just, it's full of opportunities and a lot of learning curves. Take one curve, come out at the end, and you find yourself better, ready to go for another round. All right, so we'll have other opportunities to dwell on that. So I have a question shared with me now. Someone said, what motivated you to start your careers, and what kept you going and running? I think it's similar to what you have answered earlier. If you can just... My Igbo sister. my Igbo sister.
Forget how I look. We didn't have it easy growing up. I didn't have it easy growing up as well. My mom had a restaurant. She just retired from having her restaurant when, like, three years ago. She used that restaurant to raise 5 of us. My dad was around. Both of them ran the restaurant together. So they used the restaurant to raise 5 of us then. So it wasn't easy for me. And because I saw my parents, how they struggled to raise 5 kids, you know, with the economy and everything, you know, Nigeria keeps getting better and better. That's what I was saying. Yes, Nigeria keeps getting better and better. So because of that, because what I saw them go through and all the difficult times, I told myself I was not going to let that happen. I was not going to let my kids go through that. So because of that, I started working. I was one out of 5 of us. I was the first person that started making money for myself outside. My parents didn't pay for my NYSC. I paid to carry myself to Jigawa State. I took care of myself for 1 year in Jigawa State. All my transport back to Lagos and back, it was me. I didn't want to disturb my parents for that. So, what was the question again? If I keep rambling.
You've already answered it. Thank you so much. Like, you answered how you got in.
What kept me motivated was watching my parents, seeing that I'm like, no, I will be better. I will be better for my kids. So yeah, that's for me.
Mr. Ibrahim, what kept you going?
To be honest, what keeps me going is a desire to... So I'm the firstborn, right? So I was raised to look out for everybody else. So, Auntie at the back, she's also a firstborn. So, so people like us were raised to look out for everybody else first, right? Now that my siblings, you know, my brother is married, you know, he's taking care of his own bills and responsibilities to his family. My sister has a job. Like, my siblings can take care of themselves. If I want them to dash me money, I can ask them to dash me money. But it's still very difficult to break out of that cycle where you're constantly thinking somebody else needs it more than you do. You understand? So my wife and I are very big on planning for the future, but we're also very big on family. So my siblings are her siblings are my siblings. You know, Kion's grandparents are my father and mother now. Do you understand? So we're constantly, and because she's what the Igbo people call an Ada, she's the first daughter. They are very similar to firstborns. You understand? The first daughter is like is raised to be super responsible. So we're constantly in that mindset of we need to get better, we need to do better, we need to have more, because other people are going to come to us and they're going to need it. We're going to be the ones that people are going to call first if there's an emergency, blah 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 blah. So that's the first thing that really keeps me going. Because if you leave me by myself, I'm a very content human being. My needs are very simple.
So, but the fact that you have to stand in for other people,
yes,
who are looking up to you,
yes, it's a strong motivation for me.
Yeah, I think you and I are liking that. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for that. I have this question, and it says, how do you handle roles against your personal values? I think this is talking about your career now. So how do you handle roles that are against your personal values? And I will put the second one to it such that Linda, with your beauty and everything, you know, you could have gone for one rich senator, you know, head of state somewhere. Yeah, so how do you handle all of that as well? So combine it together.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. How do you? All the people that wanted to kill me because you liked me.
Wait, I remember somewhere we were together now, and she was like, "See that guy has to be giving me this eye."
Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, right? There are people who are very happy to see us as a couple. It's like, oh my God, I love you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh, how's your son? I love it. Yay. Then there are people who
would rather prefer to see her alone.
Would rather see her alone. You understand? Because they're like, this one I have to go and marry that small boy. Do you understand? Like,
Are you the bodyguard or what?
Men are non-verbal in a lot of ways. Like, we can communicate without saying a word. So you can see Baba go look me. You understand? Like, this small boy. Me too, I look at him like, yeah, this small boy. You understand? Like, yeah, I am, dear. Because to be honest, this is me being very, very open with you guys. When we first started dating, at some point, I took off. Because I'm like, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. I don't need this. Because she gets it. She gets a lot of attention, right? And so these people are actually really powerful people. I've been my mama firstborn. You understand? Make nobody come kill me for my mama. Some of my deals on my behalf. Because maybe I'm busy doing something. I'll hand her the phone. I'm like, okay, this person is messaging about this, and I'll give her the phone. Especially if it's something that we don't need our management to step into and handle. And she negotiates on my behalf, same, and vice versa. But it started from the beginning of our relationship. We had very honest conversations about these things. So for me, let me quickly just answer my own side of the question. Then I'll hand the mic over to this gorgeous babe. Handling, playing characters that go completely against my upbringing, my beliefs, and my faith. It's tough. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I just try and get into character, and then, no. Because first and foremost, okay, what's it? First and foremost, I'm a human being.
Imagine you getting into one tough character.
I did try sometimes.
Not like that, we just went to go and die for that babe. Not like that one.
It was necessary. Like, I always, I'm human. So there's a limit to which you can block out certain things. Yeah? And it is easier to block out something that is physical than it is to block out something that is mental or emotional. And a lot of people don't know this. So when a lot of people ask this question, most of the time where their minds are going to are to the physical aspects of playing a character. You understand? So they're talking about, right? Then there's the wardrobe person and most likely the wardrobe person's assistant. How many people have I counted? Have I listed out here? Wait now, I'm getting there. So I've mentioned how many people now? Like 7 people, right? Then there's the lights guy and his assistant. That's 9. Then there's the sound guy and 2 assistants. There's the hair person. There's the makeup person. Before you count the number of people that are going to be on that set while you're shooting that scene, you have clocked like 20 people. And that's minus yourself and the person you're playing that role with, right? Then there's actually a script. So there's a script that says what the dialogue is, the conversation that you're having before you now have the character. Feels like washing clothes or doing dishes. Is so technical you don't even have time to get into, the non, you can't get into it.
Talk to the director about it. So sometimes you have conversations. For me, sometimes when I read the script and I see there are scenes where stuff like that happens, and I have to be in an uncomfortable position with someone, because some people do not take care of their health, to be honest. So, auntie, yes. So some people do not take care of their health, so you have to think for yourself. So if I have a conversation with the director and tell him, oh please, is there a way that this can be shot, or how we can do it in a very artistic way? Yeah. They can do it for you.
Well, please note, right, that because she is a
yes.
So
A star.
Yes, she's an A-list actress in Nollywood today, yeah? So she has gotten to the point in her career. Yes, my baby is a star.
A round of applause, please.
So she's gotten to the stage in her career where she has clout. Yeah. You understand? So she can actually have conversations with the director and say, no, listen, I'm not comfortable doing this. But thankfully, Nollywood has started maturing to the point where even someone who is just coming in can express their discomfort. Okay. Unfortunately for men, want to play but it is what it is, right? Wow. But now when it comes to playing characters that are doing things apart from sexually, related things that go against your faith, like someone who is a cultist or a what do you call it? And someone who is occult, You know, all those kind of things. First of all, I'm not going to lie, we pray about it.
Yeah.
You understand? Every time that either one of us has had to play a character that, you know, was doing stuff that was spiritually inclined, you know, in a negative way, we always pray about these things. So you pray about it.
Okay.
You have to. Because whether we like it or not, yes, you're playing a character.
Yeah.
But you're also, because you're trying to get into character, you might be leaving certain doors or windows open that you're not aware of. So you must be spiritually aware of your surroundings and what you're getting into. And then truthfully, afterwards, or more, there's cleansing, you know. You will cleanse.
Wow.
You know. People think it's all fun and games doing film and television. There's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. It is very stressful. Like, we filmed until 3 this morning. And then we had to get on a train at 7. Sorry, we had to be at the train station at 7. So we got home at past 3 and took a shower, fell asleep, maybe like past 4. By 5 we had to be up so we could get ready, take a shower, do all of that, and then head to the station. So basically we're functioning on like 2 hours of sleep right now. And this is something that happens like every other night. So you would lose sleep. It's a normal something. You don't get enough rest, don't get enough sleep, blah, 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 blah. It's stressful. So people just sit on screen and they'll be like, this guy must have a lot of fun. Oh, the stress is much. And then you're probably shooting a scene where you're wearing a 3-piece suit, you know, but you can't turn on the AC because Daniela is laughing. Because you can't turn on the AC when you're shooting because it will affect the sound. The sound guy will be like, we have to buy AC. And you're like, and then you're sweating bullets under that tie. But you know, on screen you're maintaining composure, they are having steez. But you're sweating, it's uncomfortable, it's annoying, it's gritty. But it's what we do, it's what we're passionate about. So you make it work.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for them, please. I mean, I've had the privilege to go to visit one of your sets before. Yeah, and I was like, oh really? Nice, we'll watch it. Okay.
I don't bring my mother on set because they said bring your mother to set. I had to shoot with my mom. And my mom came on set. And we got on set for 8:30 a.m. By the time we were done, we left like 7:30 to 8. My mother kept shouting throughout. Ha! Ha! She kept saying, what is this? Nah. After that day, when I come back from set and I tell my mom I'm tired, she said, go and lie down. Sleep. Do you want food?
To mommy for getting
Yeah, she saw the hard work.
Okay.
She saw the changing of lights and everything, so she knew.
Well done, guys. Okay, so before we call the next person to ask a question, I want to introduce someone in our midst. Yes, and I want her to give a contribution, especially to the previous questions already asked about the young ladies and coping with life and all of that. Because you guys really need mentoring. So I'm calling on none other than our very own Mrs. Ajuma Madojemu. We have the privilege to have with us here. I want to introduce her, but she will be like, why now? So let me just say, all right. It's because you kept me quiet, though. You know now.
What exactly do you want to hear from me?
No.
Yes, do I have some answers? Yes, I do. For starters, you. Again, very bold of you to come out. But let me say something. The fact that you came out to speak already says you have your answers within you. You have what it takes to go through. Life is not easy. But for you to stand, you have to have it in you, first of all. Because if you are tossed around by everything that anybody says, my dear sister, you will never be able to stand. You're looking at somebody who grew up with self-esteem issues. It doesn't show. If I say that, people wonder, who are you talking about? But I did. I went to very good schools. I know probably the top range of people in society today. That was the kind of school I went to. But you don't even appreciate what you have until you hear others talking about it. It's like, oh, really? Because some of these classmates I had, when I relate with them now and I see them, I'm wondering, why did I think they were such big deals? And they say things about me, like, you that you were one of those, said, really, I didn't see myself like that. So it starts from, and this one actually is for both of you. How do you see yourself to start with? Because it helps. Nobody can make you feel bad without your own cooperation. You have to agree with them first of all. Same thing goes for the Bible, and I like the answer that you gave. It's your brand you're creating. Your own customers will find you because you are what they're looking for. All right? To you young ladies, hold your own. The world will say this is how it should be. But you are a unique person. God made you different from the next person. Stand out and hold your own. It's not easy, but it's doable. And I want to say to you, for you who's wondering, I don't have help, if everybody tells you their story, you realize that you're not alone on your journey. What you need to do is, first of all, figure out where you want to go. And that's why they were asking you some of the questions they were asking you. Where do you see yourself? If you can't see it, then forget it. It's not happening. First of all, set the destination. And then see yourself as going through a tunnel. For those who are members of church, the Bridge Network, they will be able to tell you. But what keeps you going is that light at the end of the tunnel. As long as you keep your focus on that light, whatever is going on around you ceases to have that power over you. You just keep pushing, one step at a time, one day at a time. Maintain your focus. It is doable because if God wakes you up, forget it. You have purpose for that day. You didn't have to wake up. He didn't have to wake you up. But if he woke you up, it's because there's still something ahead for you to accomplish. So see every day as the next new thing that I'm going to do. And your mindset is very important. Your perspective is very important. How do you see what's ahead of you? Do you see yourself, to start with, as somebody who can win, can do it? Do you see yourself as a victim instead? If you're a victim, life will continue to happen to you. But you've got to wake up wanting to happen to life. If you don't have that mindset, you can't tackle anything, and it's the truth. Because, I have my sister and my cousin, born the same year, 3 months apart, were raised as twins. Two totally different human beings. Something comes against them. My sister is like, hey, the other one is like, what? Two different people, same age. So it was like they would go out together, and my cousin was the one that, to my cousin. But they were dressed as twins. People thought they were twins actually. But it was just to show you that it's the way they faced situations. One felt, how dare you think you can come and talk to me? The other one was like, ha, ha, ha. So you determine what the future is like for you. Set your goals, take the step, and you'll be surprised at the way things will fall in line for you. Is it going to be easy? No, it's never easy. I can tell you story after story after story. What she didn't want to announce was, okay, I'm retired. I retired from the Central Bank of Nigeria as a director. Yes, you won't see that. But was it a straightforward journey? No. Did I have to deal with the kind of things you're dealing with? People thinking that to get promoted, you have to sleep with them. I had to deal with such. I had bosses who felt that the only way they're going to grade you right is if you sleep with them. I had all of that going with me. I had to decide what was important. And so I asked myself, why am I doing this? And what was the answer I gave myself? I'm using central bank money to raise my children and put them through school. So what was important to me was a salary, not the promotion. And I just decided whatever it is, I was going to be so good at my job that I'll be so indispensable that you can decide to walk around me, but you cannot do without me. So whether you promote me or not, you know what I am worth. And when it counts, you have to call me up. And it kept happening. At the end of the day, one thing I learned was this. If it's the only thing you're going to take from here, the race is not to the swift. It's not.
Else who want to ask a question? Okay, Jenny. Okay. Finally. If anybody still have a question, please, you can come forward so we can take everything together. There are seats in the front for you.
Good afternoon. My name is Okwemi Ushishi. But we can leave that part. Yeah. Niger State. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. The question just popped in my mind. Like, no one really looked towards the place. No one looked towards that side. Yeah. I just want to ask for people like might not be just someone. Yeah. But many of us or some of us, because I'm part of it too. Yeah, the issue of procrastination. Yeah. So I want to get an advice because as I am like this, sometimes I might have something very important and I'll just sit down doing nothing. So
why are you holding the mic? Why are you holding the mic to me like this?
Baby, talk.
Okay, so you see procrastination, yeah?
So, sorry, before you answer that. Actually, Okpayemi, thank you for asking. Someone actually thought about it. And the question is like this. How do you set and achieve goals, both personally and professionally? So I think it ties to that. So you can answer it together.
So the reason why my wife was practically shoving this mic in my face is because I procrastinate. It is probably my biggest Mr. Ushishi, please, this is not one of those things that bros should bond over. But you know. So it's probably the most difficult thing about being who I am. I struggle with procrastination. At points where I've stopped looking at it as a problem. Just one of those things that I have to deal with every day. Like traffic, like, you know, more traffic. Sorry, I live in Lagos, so traffic is part of daily life. So, over the years, as I've done more research and asked more questions and sought counseling over my struggle with procrastination, I have learned that it is something that people who are high-functioning creatives suffer from. And it is mostly also tied to ego. So because I know that when I'm ready to do something, I'm so good at it that I'll do it in way less time that most people would do it, I just take my time. And it drives this young lady up the wall because she and I are different in certain ways. One of the ways that we're different is she's a lot like my mother of blessed memory. I think, you know that thing that they say that you end up, for ladies, you end up marrying men that are very similar to your fathers if you grow up with your father. And for men, you end up marrying women that are similar to your mothers if you grow up and your mother is present. It's not a lie. It might not apply to everybody, but it is the chances are very high. Because there are a lot of similarities that she has to my mom. One of those is if she says, oh, we need to get water. What she's saying is, like verbally she says we need to get water. But non-verbally what she's saying is, I need you to stop whatever it is that you're doing right now and go and get water. You understand? That's how. And I'm talking, when I say water, I don't mean like, you know, a glass of water to drink. No. It's not like she's choking or she's thirsty. She just means like the dispenser bottles are all empty. Maybe it's only the one that is still on the dispenser that still has water. You understand what I'm saying? So in your mind, sorry, let me speak for myself. In my mind, what this means is later on when you have time, on your way back from somewhere, or when you're driving out somewhere, stop and refill. But this young lady means in case the world is ending, or they're shutting down all the streets, or the government wakes up and says that nobody should move for the next 2 years, or God just says that, rain should not fall again for life. Let's just get water now. And it is a serious source of amusement to me and vexation for her. Because I'm just there looking at her when and she's bright skinned, so the pink used to show when she's upset. So she's just there like swelling up, like upset, because the man that she told to go and get the water filled up is just there. In her mind, he's just chilling. But me in my mind, I'm working on something, or there's something that I'm ruminating in my mind. I need to finalize the thoughts in my head, then I'll go and do this thing. Yes, baby, yes, I'm finalizing thoughts. You understand? So, and I've learned in my research and seeking counseling and everything, talking to other people over time, that for people that are very creative, because you do a lot of your creative process in your head, your mind is busy solving problems along the task that you're supposed to be doing, even without you knowing it. The danger is if when it is now time to actually start to sort it out, you now lose motivation to do it. Personally, that's where I feel like there's a problem. But if you procrastinate because you're figuring it out or you're doing something else, blah, 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 but when push comes to shove, you can focus and deliver, then you're a high-functioning procrastinator, you can survive. Never ever let yourself get to the point where hubris now sets in, where you're so overconfident that you start to overestimate your ability to finish the task on time. Because it will cost you jobs, it will cost you trust. The people who rely on you to have integrity will stop seeing you as someone who has integrity, and they'll stop trusting you. And I can see that, that's probably where you're getting to, young man. So, my advice, set certain limitations for yourself. If I have a task that I have to do, either a personal work task or something, an errand that my owner here has sent me to do, I make a mental note, or sometimes I actually put a note in my phone and attach a timer to the schedule that lets me know that, Oga, whatever it is that you're doing, if you don't stop in and go and do this thing that this babe says you should do, you enter trouble. And when they say happy wife, happy life, I like having a happy life. You understand? So please, if you're struggling with procrastination today, that means you need to self-supervise. And what that means is simple. Write out your task for each day. Like the non-negotiables, the things that you must attain on that day. Write them out clearly. Put a timestamp and a time frame to it. By timestamp, I mean the time that you're supposed to start doing it, and then a time frame, and by that I mean the amount of time that you're allocated to finish that task. If you love yourself, follow that thing as if it is inside the Bible that you saw it. Yeah. Otherwise, honestly, you will not make it. You can't. You can't make it in life. I'm sorry to put it so bluntly.
It's good. It's good to be blunt.
So please, my people, my co-procrastinators here, I'm telling you what has worked for me. You understand? Because you cannot be doing as many and be steadily procrastinating. So I have been able to figure out that what works is that to-do list for the day that only includes the things that are most important that you must achieve that day. Put your timestamp and put attach your time frame to those things and get it done. Because the rest of that day, Omo, you have it to yourself, or you will play.
Wow.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. I think on this note of we have somebody waiting already. On this note of procrastinating and setting goals, we have a time that we're working with and some other things to do. But guys, please, we still have them for tomorrow. All right. So they're going to be here with us tomorrow for service. Just in case you would like to pop in or you have more questions, you can send them ahead. We'll find a way to answer them and get them across to you. And you're going to be watching, clips of this also. Maybe other things they share with us. So please join us tomorrow as well. For my guy who have a question, let him ask now, please. You are out here already. We are not forgetting you, no way. So ask a question, please.
Thank you so much, Ma. My question is simple. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Gideon, and my question goes to us. Balance, as in, I don't know if you understand the question I'm asking. How are we able to balance the time for acting and the time for all those things that you are doing actually? So, because the decision of Nigeria is that you need to make money. Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, sir. You need to make money. So you need to make money and you need to follow up with your career. So how are you able to balance up with these things? Thank you.
That's a very solid question, and it just feels like most of the questions that we've had today are directed at my own personal struggles over my life and career. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I've had these experiences so that I can share from a place of personal experience and not head knowledge or what I was taught in class. So when you've experienced something, when you've lived through something, when you've overcome something, or when you're dealing with something, it is easier to share from an authentic place than when you've read about it or you've gone to being multi-skilled or multi-talented or multi-gifted. I've read in a few places where people have equated it as they've said it is a gift and a curse. I do not believe that. I just believe that it is a gift that comes with a certain required level of discipline. It's a non-negotiable. As I've said before, I'm very good at many things. God has been very kind to me. But it's also because I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person. And when my interest is piqued by something, I want to figure out what that thing is about. I like to know the inner workings, or at least the basics of it. And it is on good. I know this on good authority that if you dedicate 6 hours every day to practicing one thing, you would be proficient enough to teach that thing in less than 3 months. You would know it so well. You'll be so good at it. No, thank you. You'll be so good at it that you can teach other people. Now, being curious and being dedicated will lead to you being multi-talented. It's a given. Now, the problem is when you now find yourself in a situation where you're so good at so many different things that you're not sure which one to focus on. I'm sorry, but you have to pick and choose. Sometimes, if you are blessed, the Holy Spirit will actually dictate to you what to focus in, because our lives have times and seasons. You understand? There was a period of my life where I was a dance choreographer and a performer. That was what I did for most of it. I did that for a long time, right? But the last time I was on stage performing was in 2015, right? I haven't gotten on stage to do a dance performance since 2015. Do I miss it? Sometimes. But do I feel the need to want to do it? No, because that season has passed. So I believe that God gives people like us certain abilities for certain seasons. Now, in that season that God has gifted you the ability, He's not the kind of God that gives and takes back. So you will always have it, but He will not need you to use it. You will not need that gift forever. Do you understand what I'm saying? But in the time that you need it, the time that you're using, the time you're actively using it, He will require you to teach other people or be a light for other people that are heading in that direction. So what has worked for me is paying attention to the pushings, the promptings of the Holy Spirit. One. Secondly, time and chance. Prep. Constantly refine. Just on the off chance that one day you could just and somebody will just need someone who is skilled at that thing and you will be there. It has happened to me so many times that I don't even bother to be shocked whenever it happens anymore. You will just be on your own, chilling. And then something that you learned how to do, and you did for like 2 or 3 months, like 4 years ago, someone nearby will just get a call or will just be in a situation where they need someone who can do that thing. And like a passerby, it will just fall in your lap. And then before you know it, that's what is now paying your bills for another 2 or 3 years. It has happened to me so many times. But for this moment in time, you have to make a decision. If you're in that stage where you're not sure what it is, it's probably because it's one of those seasons where anything that you focus on will be the thing that you should be doing.
Yeah.
I don't believe that God is a God that just gives only one option. You understand? Especially when it comes to, things like your career, opportunities in life, all of that. There's nothing like, that thing where they say opportunity knocks but once, not with the God that I serve. But you must be by the door, Sha. You understand? That's where following his word, obeying his commands, all of that comes into play. So basically, brother, whatever it is that you feel most strongly about now is probably what you feel. Try and tie it to something that you are concerned about. Problem solve. If you feel like there's a problem in your vicinity or something that annoys you the most that you see other people doing and they're not doing it right, it's because you're probably supposed to be doing it in a way that they can learn from you. And whatever you're doing that adds value will pay you. So please I hope this helps because I can only tell you what I know, what I've experienced.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think one of the things we're doing here also for me is one of the things that I just find that God wants us. So last question, please. We have to round up. Thank you.
Okay. So the first, I have quite a couple of questions. No, the thing is, it keeps coming from other people's questions.
Okay.
So it's not my fault.
Make it a bit short, and then we'll take over the rest tomorrow.
One, then.
Yes. All right.
When it comes, you said I don't know, someone asked a question about handling your personal life and work life. I say it's quite difficult. So I'm quite strict on self-evaluation. I feel you should be very, very sincere to yourself. And for me, or at the stage of my life, it is me, actually work, me, then relationships. And it has caused quite a rift because every other day you are hearing, Genesis, you did not even text me. I'm up 4, I come back 10. Where is that time for text me? And it's quite difficult because they don't understand. Are you the only one? How do you balance it? Because I know you say make time for yourself. When you are very young or when you're in your prime, it's quite difficult, and I feel that that's where I'm at. So how do you kind of balance that and keep relationships, because they don't get it, both the love side and the friendship side?
By the way, Genesis is a teenager. All right, so you want to answer that? You should.
No, I wanted to ask how you said when you're in your prime. I wanted to ask what's your prime?
Your early stages of Oh no, sorry. When I say prime, I don't mean the peak. I mean your early stages of.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're about 18.
I don't know.
Lower than that.
Okay, so here's what I'll say, and this is not to answer your question. I just want this to be like a base for this conversation. First of all, no jokes. Sorry.
No, stop. Say what
Okay. There's work, yes. There's you. Then there's relationships, both platonic and romantic. Yeah. Complicated and more, as the Lord tarries and you get older and get better at being a human being, the demands on your time will become more. It will increase. At this stage, I honestly think you should take it easy, okay? Be a child. I'm not calling you a child, calm down. I'm just saying be a child. Herself, for everybody else, blah, 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 blah. You understand? Now, how we deal, but I'm sure she's going to talk to you about, the question that you asked. But I want to jump to the question about how we deal with stuff like this, work and then personal life, and handling communication. It was my birthday. I was constantly getting people coming through, and I was actually shooting content for a brand that I was representing at the time. So it was a very busy day for me. So in all of this, I missed out on and this is no exaggeration, a few tens of thousands of messages saying happy birthday. Every year, I get messages like 3 or 4 weeks after my birthday from people saying, I sent you this message. And you know how you go and copy, you reply to a message you sent before. I sent you this a month ago and you still haven't replied, blah, blah, blah. And then you beg people you can beg. You explain to the people that you can explain to. A lot of people will not understand, and some of them will cut you off. You understand? But my heart is pure. And I know that within the physical human capabilities that I have, there's no way I could have kept up. There's no way I can't keep up, because even to this, I apologize to everybody here. There are times when I've had to look at my phone and so it's one of those things where everybody just has to take a deep breath and understand that, you know, to extend grace, which I think is one of the most important things I've learned about being an adult. You have to learn to extend grace to the people in your life, and hopefully they would take your cue and extend grace to you as well, because it's tough being an adult today. So don't be in a hurry. Take your time.
Thank you.
So he has actually said almost everything. I'll just Papa. So I would just add that he mentioned that you should enjoy being a child, a teenager, not a young person. Sorry, a young person. You did something when you were 17 or 18 years old. So you should enjoy it now. Because when this man...
Sorry, but those boys that are trying to disturb you too much, they should sit down. Do you understand? They should go and have a very comfortable seat very far away from you. This is not the time. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Wow. Thank you.
So...
If they are here.
Yeah, they are not here. I don't think they are here. Anyway, so enjoy it while you can, because trust me, now when he babies me, I miss it and I love it. I take it with arms open wide, collecting the baby. So please, have time for your friends. Have time to hang out with your friends. Have fun. Good fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just need to put a disclaimer here. Because I know you said, oh, that's your baby. Yeah, she's my baby. She's in my class, okay? And I want to say this. This is going to be my own, just to wrap for this. I want to say this, that everything they said, I 100%, in some cases, all right? So they do that. And we encourage them to, step out and try and test things, get into thick of things, develop their career and everything, right? So they do that. But in the process, please still remember your age and the stage where you are. I know you look all grown up and everything. I'm so proud of you. But be a teenager a little bit. That's why I always encourage you guys, come back to the teenager. Let's have some fun. On our variety Sundays especially. This happened to me too. And I find myself celebrating forever young at 32. So I was at the office and everybody was like, oh, is it your 25th? I was like, I cannot say. And I was celebrating forever young because I was always responsible and grown, and yeah, that happened to me. And so thank you for, reminding all of us that we have to pause and smell the roses and just, I know, and I love that. I always, anytime I have the opportunity, I'm like, good. So, as we have some announcement for everybody, and Auntie Jennifer, please get ready. We need you here. But before she comes, I just want you to give your, take away your last comment and all of that, so that we end this session. I believe a lot, and if not everybody, will be here to meet with you again tomorrow. You need to rest. They need to rest. Please allow them to go now, all right? So they just give you a parting gift, a parting word, and then we end this session. But there are other things for you, so don't go yet. They need to just go and chill a little bit, okay? Yes, thank you guys. We really appreciate you, and we love you so much. And we're going to be rooting for you, watching every of your movies, and spreading the good news about how wonderful you are. Thank you. A round of applause for them as they usher them out, please. Keep clapping, keep clapping, please.
Before they go, before you go, we wanted you to just spend a few minutes. So we have a shop for free event after this event. So we just wanted to give you, first buyers outlook. So it's a shop for free. You go through and then you pick anything you want. And then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we appreciate them, please? Let's after now. So just in a few minutes, did you have fun today? Did you have a good time today? Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Tomorrow we're also going to be having both of them tomorrow. This month here is our anniversary month. So this is the Bridge Network. This is the Bridge Network. We're a city church in Ibadan, and we're committed to living an outstanding life and service to God, transforming our world. And we hope that we've been able to touch your own world today. We hope that we've been able to drop something good for you. Tomorrow we're having our church service, which starts by 8 a.m. And in the first service, we're going to have a similar Q&A that we have today. We're going to have it tomorrow from 8 to 9:30. And then from 9:30 to 12, we're going to have the network service where we'll have more of conversations than a Q&A. Do we understand? Do we understand? Okay, so our first service, we usually call it the Real Success Seminars. And the goal of you tomorrow, and we're very excited about that. Let me just go into how we're going to do the shop for free. Okay? We're going to do it in this way. Ladies first. Yeah, so ladies get first speak. Yes, because ladies first. That's what. Was it not you that said ladies first earlier today? Hey. So we're going with that. So I would let you know. We'll just give you a break to meet someone new. So I want you to walk around the room, meet somebody new, say hello, find out who they are, what they're interested in. Some people came later than the time we were introducing ourselves and saying the kinds of businesses that we wanted to do or what we wanted to do with life. So I want you to walk up to somebody. Make sure you talk to at least 3 new people today. If you don't talk to 3, you don't know, maybe that's what I used to determine whether you come into the shop or not. So please make sure that you meet at least 3 new people and get to know them. Get to know them. In a few minutes, make sure they respond. Drag them by their shirts. Please be careful. Don't say it though. 3 new people. Find out who they are, what they do. And then I'll come back to call the ladies. And then afterwards, we'll have the guys come into the shop for free. Okay? Thank you.